There's a potential for that. You know, I don't think it's going to happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But, you know, you just gotta wait and see. That's it. All right, let's see this. Roblox Predator problems getting worse.
A platform that needs no introduction, yet every time I talk about it, I feel compelled to remind people that this is like one of the most profitable things on the planet. This game has become more popular than oxygen, but I'm sure all of you already know that. There's not a soul on this planet that hasn't at least heard the name Roblox. You could live underground just feeding off dirt, and somehow I'm sure the name Roblox made it down to the subterranean culture. Like, it is actually that big. But for some parents that stay in the know about the happenings on the online space, Roblox is a name that might send some shivers down your spine, because there is a big problem in the community that has existed for a while, one that the Roblox headquarters plugs its ears to and even actively tries to bury or dissuade people from trying to solve the problem themselves. That problem being predators. There have been innumerable cases of Roblox predators preying on children through the platform. It's led to so many national headlines about this issue, and it's gotten so bad that there are YouTubers and like vigilante groups on the game that have taken matters into their own hands to try and catch and get these predators arrested so they can make the platform safer for children. Roblox themselves don't do enough to keep the platform safe, so the community has taken it upon themselves to do it themselves. Like, Roblox always claims that they're working on it, but they're really not. They're doing the equivalent of going to the gym and hitting 2 sets of dilly-dally and calling it a day. They don't actually do much for this.
Has sent a cease and desist letter to me, a 22-year-old, versus a multi-billion-dollar company, threats of litigation because I catch predators on their platform. Within the last
You got to investigate and use your voice changer to do a speedrun to see how long it takes for grooming to happen. That sounds insane. I don't feel comfortable presenting myself as a teenager just to do pedo hunting operations. That's insane.
year, me and my team have gotten 6 predators arrested within the Roblox community. Almost all of them have admitted to doing this before to other Roblox users.
This is a YouTuber named Schlep who has been working to get predators arrested that are preying on children through the Roblox platform. And Roblox has now permanently banned him, like IP ban, banish all of his accounts to the Shadow Realm, and he is facing potential legal problems for this. It's pretty odd considering Roblox willingly turns a blind eye to the pedophile plague on their platform, but will laser focus, dial in, and fucking call in like the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs in order to try and wipe out people like Schlep that try and stop the predators themselves. So instead of stopping the predators, Roblox stops the people stopping the predators. It's really backwards, if you ask me. That shit doesn't make any sense. Like, just let that marinate in your head for a moment. Like, I understand vigilante groups can sometimes be a problem, but when you as the company are doing...
That's how they matched the Israeli operative, by the way. Caught the Israeli operative, by the way. Cops went undercover as teens. I understand, but I'll leave that to law enforcement. Okay? And like, even they are probably not doing the best job when engaging in the act of pedo hunting, but I'm not going to do it. Okay. Like, there's a difference between, people who are like actively farming, CSAM, for example, in their Discord servers, like those kick streamers that one content creator like did a massive expose on, right? Like, those guys are doing it. There's no entrapment. They're just doing it publicly. Okay. There's no like presenting yourself as a child or anything like that. But I think there's a balance to it where if some people just like go way above and beyond, and then that's the reason why you see a lot of these like pedo hunter style content creators. I'm not saying Schlep is like that. I don't know his content at all. But like, a lot of these guys then turn into like the weirdos or are weirdos, and they're just doing this because they're weirdos. Some of them actually get outed as predators themselves as well. It happens far too much. So I just kind of fucking stay away from that world completely.
Nothing to actually stop it yourself, What other options are there? The community has to take matters into their own hands and start policing themselves to try and keep the platform safe, since Roblox is really dropping the ball on it. Like, for some reason, they don't even get out of bed when they hear about a pedophile on the platform, but if they hear about a YouTuber doing something to stop that, shit, they fire up like Dracula. They sit up like The Undertaker and they get to business. They go to work. So, this is not the first time this has happened. They have come after people like Schlepp before, the people that are actively trying to make the platform safer, and it just doesn't make any sense. The CEO seems to be too busy trying to pitch Roblox as a dating platform in addition to being for gaming. I already made a video talking about the lunacy of this idea, but it is like chumming the waters for sharks. The sharks in this case being pedophiles. Anyone who knows anything about Roblox and has a functioning frontal lobe should tell you what...
Bro, is the CEO a pedophile? What's going on? What the hell? The CEO was like, oh, this seems like a fantastic opportunity to get some teenagers to meet some eligible bachelors. That's crazy. That's insane. This is just, let's dump some meat in the water where the sharks are circling. What the hell? This is the type of stuff that like parents in my generation were worried about, and therefore my parents did not want me playing any online video games or even have like MSN Messenger. You guys had AIM here in America. We had MSN Messenger in Turkey, and they didn't let me have it. Like, they didn't let me use it because they saw like one news article about like a predator or a pedophile doing predator stuff to children or whatever, right? And that was a little ridiculous because like MSN Messenger was not even, you could not really communicate with strangers, it's just a way to communicate with your friends as long as you had their like usernames and stuff like that, right? I'm sure it probably happened, but you could, the proper way to do that would probably be to educate your child on best practices, like understand how this works, understand how this like communication platform works, and educate your child in the same way that you would about like going out and not talking to stranger danger in public, right? Because nowadays the internet is basically the only public space that we exist in. So, of course, my parents were too old, didn't understand it, and were instead like, you're not allowed to use it. And obviously I still used it. I had to learn a bunch of different like privacy apps that would, if I hit like a couple different keystrokes, would automatically close down Dota or MSN Messenger. The ones that people use in like their workplace when they're watching me, Hassan Hasanabi Piker, while they're on the company time. I used all of that. So I found a workaround around it. But the point is, this is a real fear. This is an understandable fear, especially if you're like in a large server and it's basically the equivalent of walking around as a child in public, and there's dudes with white vans holding out candy. But instead, because it's online, you just kind of feel like you're safe, but you're not safe at all. You know what I mean? There are nearly 82 million active users on Roblox and more than 6.4 million experiences within the system. More than 40% of their user base is under the age of 12. Because there's no age minimum requirement to verify age or parental permission once you sign up, users can easily say you are younger or older than their actual age, allowing child predators to pose as children and for children to bypass any age requirement. I just don't also know what the proper mechanism of protection is, because like I know that a lot of these people will use this as an opportunity to put like the identification, like the ID verification stuff. And I feel like that's also incredibly worrisome because it increases surveillance. Taylor Lorenz had a big video on this as well. She's been a champion in this cause, consistently talking about how like all of the ID verification processes that they have that they're implementing is going to inevitably lead to more problems down the line, and create an environment of censorship. So I don't know what the actual solution is. I lean on the side of what Taylor is warning about as well. But here, let's
What a recipe for disaster this is, to turn a platform that mainly targets children into also having a dating site component to it. That he wants to be 17 plus, which is a weird number to choose for that, by the way. But the CEO, Dave fucking Hakalugi Bazuki, really is fixated on trying to make this a reality of turning Roblox into a dating site in addition to its gaming. But they can't even protect children from pedophiles now. Imagine when they try and implement this to it.
Hilarious. Roblox is actively claiming that I'm hurting their players. Roblox is claiming that I'm engaging in simulated child endangerment conversations. What? So one of the fundamental bases of predator catching is that you cannot talk sexually to predators. Predators are supposed to be the ones talking sexually to you. If you talk sexually to predators, like straight off the get-go, that's entrapment. That is literally what entrapment is. We almost always play a naive kid who doesn't know anything about this stuff, so they teach us about this stuff. If you watch these videos, you know how the chats are going, and they're not even on Roblox. Most of the chat logs are on Discord, and they're accusing me of getting people off of platform onto...
Kind of glad you're down for that stuff. This can make something interesting. Oh, what the fuck? Hey, yo, dude. Wow, God. I used to make fun of my dad because, like, when there is any sort of, like, harm, simulated harm against, like, a child in a movie, he'll be like, shut this off. I can't watch this, right? And I'd be like, who cares? It's a movie, Dad. Calm down. And now I feel like I'm turning into him a little bit, where like when I see this kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, I can't even do it. But then again, this isn't even simulated harm. This is like real shit. So this is like a real ass active predator out there existing in the same universe as myself, you, your loved ones, and your young relatives. Your minor relatives. It's just so gross.
Different social media sites.
Let's take a peek at this real quick. While Roblox acknowledges that your stated intentions may be to protect children, and while it recognizes the serious nature of online predatory behavior, your methods, including failing to immediately report suspicious activity to Roblox through proper channels, are actively interfering with Roblox's established safety protocols and critically are exposing Roblox's users to increased risk. If that isn't the fattest load of barnacles you've ever tried to swallow, I don't know what is. The big thing with everyone that is actively trying to keep the platform safer, like people like Schlepp trying to catch predators, they report them immediately. That is the number one thing they do. The problem is, and you can look this up there yourself, there are so many articles that detail how nonchalant Roblox is when it comes to these reports. The problem is, Roblox doesn't act on it. So as far as I know, in all of these predator catching groups,
Bro, this should be like instant IP ban. Instant IP ban, not for Schlepp, of course, but for the person. And then also instantly report them to the authorities. Like, it should be auto. It should be an automatic system where it's like, okay, we look through it. Obviously, this person is actively trying to go after children on our platform. Child safety and child endangerment is the number one priority for us, with an active user base of 40% that's under the age of 13. How do you prevent abuse of that? You have to hire people. What do you mean? You have to hire human beings who scour through the information and then send it over to the authorities. That's how you work with it. And I know nobody wants to do that because they go, it's too expensive. So the only way that you can do that, if companies don't take this action on their own, is legislation, punishments from regulatory agencies, punishments from authorities. Now, of course, we're talking about the United States of America, which means which is a massive market, obviously, for a lot of tech initiatives. That's not going to happen here in the United States of America because our regulatory agencies have been gutted from within by the likes of Doge, and our politicians are not invested in anything unless it's to give more money to Israel or if it's to give more money to the military industrial complex in general. So if the children, including the children of politicians, were not children on Roblox getting predated on, but instead, I don't know, the latest Boeing missile system that they're developing being predated on, only then the politicians will take action. So I have a brilliant idea. We fake it like the kids are actually missile systems. Hear me out, okay? We convince, they're old, they don't understand it, they don't understand how the world works. We convince the politicians that this is actually an Hellfire missile that's being predated on. Not a child, not an American child, because children are whack. Nobody cares about them, obviously. Duh. Children are not productive, okay? They don't even work. They don't generate value. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? They're not a lobbyist. They're not in the fucking halls of Congress. They're not working for Raytheon. Obviously, no one cares. So how do we make the politicians care? We say the kids are actually missiles, okay? Child, also kind of missile-shaped. Child, also oftentimes in the crosshairs of a missile. Think about it. Think about it. Every child that is actively attacked and predated on by a child predator online is actually a missile that could go to Israel. They're kidnapping our missiles. They're kidnapping our missiles. We have to put a stop to it. And then, boom, tomorrow there will be a solution.
First thing they do is report it through the proper channels on Roblox, but the issue is that report just makes it directly to the shitter at Roblox HQ for them to flush it. I don't know where it goes, but I guess it just goes somewhere to collect dust at Roblox. It falls into the goddamn back rooms. So they never actually act on any of the reports. So the proper channels are fucking useless. It's baffling. And in a lot of cases, Schlepp's about to give you an example, even when a predator is arrested, like a Roblox predator is arrested, they don't even ban that account that is associated with them a lot of times. It's craziness. To say like he's not doing this the right way because he's not reporting it through Roblox is just incorrect, and also laughable for them to claim that by not doing that, he's putting users at more risk. How does that make any sense? How is him trying to catch these predators somehow putting children in harm's way? Like, more so than Roblox doing nothing except sitting on these reports forever, maybe using them as, like, scribbling paper at the office, like a coloring book. Like, how is what he's doing, actively trying, at least, to stop predators, putting users more at risk? The next barrage of mumbo-jumbo from Roblox is equally baffling, saying that he's engaging in simulated child endangerment. Well, I guess kind of, because there are predators on your platform that are talking sexually to him and his group that are pretending to be kids. And according to Schlepp, they're not initiating those inappropriate conversations. The predators are just there. The call's coming from inside the house on Roblox. He is not going out of his way to create pedophiles to catch. They are there. So the conversations do happen because the predators are there having them. And you have to imagine that in most cases, they're not having them with a vigilante group trying to catch them. They're having them with real children that are in real danger from these pedophiles that are running rampant on the platform. Now, the next thing they talk about, moving them to a new platform? What the fuck? As Schlepp mentions, a lot of the conversations do end up off the Roblox service on things like Discord. And apparently that's an issue with Roblox too, that they've taken users from Roblox and brought them to Discord. It's almost like they were upset that they lost a user there to somewhere else. Like, no, bring them back. You're not allowed to. You're trying to poach our community.
Yeah, Roblox makes peer-to-peer encrypted chatting so that pedophiles can easily communicate with children, and they don't have to go to a third-party application to continue these conversations. That's the meta. Make it easier. I mean, the dating app shit is literally moving in that direction. Roblox was like, "Oh, we're joining the war. We're joining the war on pedophilia on the side of the pedophiles."
Unity. We're gonna lose pedophiles if you keep catching them, and we need that to pump up our numbers. You kidding me? No. That's a big problem.
I guess that's worth a cease and desist and an IP ban of every single account that I own. That's just crazy. I can't even fathom that. They also say sharing or soliciting personally identifiable information. I have no idea.
With the police? Is that what they mean? They're like, Roblox was like, you're doxing our pedophiles by giving their information to the police? That's crazy. Why would you dox our big, brave pedophiles? Big, beautiful. Why would you dox our big, beautiful pedophiles? It's like you're a predator trying to hunt down pedophiles. This is messed up.
What they're referring to this, I would love to know what they're talking about. Are they referring to the fact that I give the information of the predators that we find to the police? Like, the people we're talking to are predators.
Another weird one here from the slimy suits at Roblox Corp. What do you mean personally identifiable information? It almost sounds like they care more about the privacy of the predators than the act of actually stopping them. It's like, whoa, you just shared some of our users' data without our permission. Are you kidding me? You're fucking...
Imagine being a special victims officer and being assigned to play Roblox all day to catch predators. I mean, I think that's cool. You get to play video games all day. And also simultaneously, you're literally doing one of the functions of law enforcement that is actually good. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of the decent functions of law enforcement that virtually no one would actively argue against.
Fucking doxing a pedophile on our platform? Nope. That is not permissible. We do not support that at all. Like, what the fuck? Like, it'd be entirely unnecessary if you would just do your job and give that personal information to the authorities so that way the predators could get arrested, but you're not doing it. So people like Schlepp have to. Like,
The most insulting thing is that they told me I'm not reporting people quick enough and I'm not reporting them through the right outlets. Tell me the right outlets. I have been trying to figure this out for like a year now. This here is Nepali Incel. This person actually made credible threats to the Las Vegas sphere in a Roblox game. And I saw this with my own two eyes. And the reason why it's a credible threat, it is because the FBI went ahead and arrested someone for making threats within that same game. I made a moderation ticket about it, and I even actually made a report to the FBI about this. Where is the cease and desist letter for him? Where is the IP ban for him? Are you gonna ban all of this dude's accounts?
Roblox uses the proper channels as like kind of this shield, but it's really a myth. It doesn't seem to actually exist because nobody knows the proper channels. They're doing all of like the reporting that they can to Roblox through everything they think is the proper channels. But Roblox, I guess, isn't very clear with what they are because they keep saying, nope, still not using the right channels. Well, what the fuck are they? Nobody seems to know how to access the proper channels. It's like a fucking Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg. How do you get there? Why don't you explain it then? Why don't you make it more clear? Because as of now, everyone is reporting it through what they believe is the right...
I feel like on the one hand, you're like, oh, this is just a children's game. Who cares, right? But also on the other hand, like, this is a primary mode of communication for a lot of people at this point, I guess. There's a massive active user base. Most of them are little kids. So, you know, it's pretty, bro, that's why you care. No, that's my point. My point is that, like, if this is where the kids are and this is where they spend most of their time, then you have to treat it in the same way that you would as though they're at the fucking public parks, you know? Yeah, apparently a credible terrorist attack was being planned on Roblox. Is so fucking crazy. The FBI allegedly busted a real-life terrorist attack that was planned in Roblox. I cannot confirm anything aloud at the moment. but things are in motion, says Crazy Pain. James Wesley Berger, who was caught by the FBI, mugshot below, has been charged with threats communicated in interstate commerce. You can read the criminal complaint below. What? What? Crazy Pain said it will be months. Shawwal. Based on my training experience, I know Shawwal is the 10th month of the Islamic calendar that follows Ramadan. It corresponds approximately to March 31st, 2025. The witness observed messages from Crazy Pain stating that they owned at least one firearm. The following are screenshots that were captured by the witness, though not all communications were captured. Truanon did an episode on the Order of Nine Angels and how they use online games to recruit. And a deal grievous wound upon the followers of the cross. He's keeping it disclosed. We will make dua for you once, you martyr. How many days until you do that, Anna? It will be months, Shawwal, April. Wait, this guy's name is James W. Berger, and he wanted to do like Islamic style terror, Islamic Caliphate, Islamic State style terror. What the fuck? What is happening, bro? When we say Al-Qaeda, I didn't mean like they were literally becoming Al-Qaeda. How the fuck does a guy with the last name James W. Berger sounds like something I made up? Okay, like white boy named James W. Berger doing jihad. What, this would have been the second time a dude with the last name Berger has committed, a white dude with the last name Berger has committed an act of terror on U.S. soil, domestic terror on U.S. soil. It's like, it reminds me of the first one this year, which is Life is Burger, right? Wasn't that guy's name Life is Burger, like Mr. Hamburger? Brother, I've seen right-wing militias with up-armored Land Cruisers in Oregon. Of course, they hired the U.S. Taliban. Far Cry 4 for real. Americans planning a terrorist attack. Imagine a burger. I mean, none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. Like, how did this guy... Carletta Carter, Special Agent, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Austin, Texas, being duly sworn, deposed, state the following. Based upon the facts set forth below, I submit there is probable cause to believe that on or about January 23rd, 2025, with the Western District of Texas House, where defendant James Wesley Berger did violate transmitting in interstate commerce and any communication threat to injure the persons of another. United States investigating Berger for making threats via the Roblox gaming platform to attack a Christian concert or event. This also sounds sus. Or on or about January 23rd, the FBI received a report from an individual located in the state of Nevada of a possible domestic terrorist incident being discussed on Roblox used by Crazy Pain. Witness observed the Crazy Pain saying they're willing to kill Shia Muslims at their mosque. A guy named James W. Berger became like a ultra Salafist. How is that even? How does that happen? Where are even Shia Muslims in his vicinity? What the fuck? This has to be fake, right? No, I mean, he was apparently saying shit like this. They brainwash the kid, bro. I just don't know who and how. It's not about people in the Order of Nine Angels and groups worship. It's not about that. People in the Order of Nine Angles or angels and groups worship ISIS. So these guys are like radicalizing themselves into being pro-ISIS. How is that even fucking possible? Why is it always us? Why do they hate the Shia so much? It's ISIS, dude. It's ISIS. That's what it is. It's like ISIS shit. No normal Muslim is invested in this kind of like, oh, we got to take out the Shias. Like, that's not real. it's like I don't know. It's like being a it's like being a Muslim and then like converting to Catholicism to hunt down Protestants or something, or converting to Protestant Christianity to hunt down Catholics. It doesn't make any sense. Do you understand? Like that's an insane thing. That like that's not something that happens. User one replied on Roblox should delete the photograph of firearms within the unknown Discord chat in case it was flagged as suspicious. The firearm should be kept hidden. Crazy Payne continues to speak on Roblox about their desire to commit martyrdom at a Christian event, that he wanted to bring humiliation to the worshippers of the cross. See, this is the other thing. This right here, the reason why I say this is fucking idiotic is because Muslims do not actually want to kill Christians. This is what Christians in the West think Muslims want to do. Okay? That's bullshit. The idea that like Muslims are we're going to go and kill the worshippers of the cross. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Muslims respect Jesus. Jesus is a fucking prophet in the Quran. That's not, this is a dude who got one-shotted by a very specific understanding of quote unquote Islam that mostly manifests in the West. It's like guys that say, oh, I've reverted to Islam because I want to lower the age of consent and have 4 wives and you know, do harm to those who speak out against the prophet or something. Like that's, you literally are invested in the memeified right-wing version of Islam that America has presented to you as the only form of Islam. It's like ironically an Orientalist framework. It's just like you are you didn't like revert because I don't know, you want to follow you want to follow the Quran. You reverted because you want to be like a fucking weirdo. Yeah, the sneako Islam, exactly. Many such cases. Christ Bane said it will be months, Shawwal, April. Based on my training experience, I know Shawwal is the 10th month of the Islamic calendar that follows a Ramadan. It corresponds to approximately March 31st. The witness observed messages from Crazy Payne stating that owned at least one firearm. Based on the billing information provided by Roblox, the name associated with the Crazy Payne account was James V. Durger with a address in Texas and a Gmail email address. Roblox also provided it seems like Roblox was also doxing the user's privacy here. Really messed up of Roblox to do so. This corroborates Berger within the Western District of Texas at the time he made the threatening statements. As Roblox user Crazy Payne on or about February 28th, investigators executed a search warrant at Berger's residence. What? There's thus probable cause to believe he was the user. Berger typed the W Isa backspace. Assalamu alaikum. I've come to conclude it will befall the 12 of Shawwal, and it will be a music festival attracting bounties of Christians. Inshallah, we will attain martyrdom and deal a grievous wound upon the followers of the cross. Pray for me and enjoin yourself to martyrdom. How does a white dude named James Berger arrive at ISIS? Like, this is not, I don't even understand. I genuinely don't understand how this happens. Order of the Nine Angles are a bunch of edgy troll Nazi Satanists. They are not Muslims. They just love edgy violence wherever it comes. This is not normal. Red pill Islam brainwashing. Is that like a new meta? I didn't even know about this. Like, so the Nazis have decided, is it angels or angles? The Nazis have decided, like, oh, the regular, like, white supremacist stuff that we were doing is not popping. We need to just be, like, we need to do the we must kill the Shia version of, like, ISIS style, Al-Qaeda style fucking psychotic nonsense. I guess it's like two birds, one stone because they don't fuck with Muslims anyway. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Yes, angles açı. Oh. Left hand büyücü. Evet, ISIS Eci diye seviyorlar. Telegram'dan örgütleniyorlar. It's angels. The other dude can't spell. No, other people are saying angles. Some people are saying angles. Some people are saying angels. I don't know. I really think it's just too many psyops on a chaotic internet swirling in the madness. There's going to be a split in the American Nazi movement where the pure Christo-fascist crusade against the Islamo-fascist Nazis. I don't think that there's any real meta here, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think these guys are just like, I think these guys are entirely invested in, like they're just invested in chaos, and it's a win-win. The Order of Nine Angles, ONA, is a satanic left-hand path and terrorist network that originated in the UK, but has since branched out to other parts of the world. Claiming to have been established in the 1960s, it rose to public recognition in its early 80s, attracting attention for its neo-Nazi ideology and activism. Describing its approach as traditional Satanism, it also exhibits hermetic and modern pagan elements in its beliefs. According to the Order's own claims, it was established in the Welsh marches of Western England during the late 1960s by a woman previously involved in a secretive pre-Christian tradition. This account adds that in 1973, a man named Anton Long was initiated into the group, subsequently becoming its Grand Master. Several academics who have studied the ONA believe that Anton Long is probably a pseudonym for the British neo-Nazi activist David Myatt, although Myatt has denied that this is the case. From the late 1970s onward, Long wrote books and articles which propagated the Order's ideas. In 1988, the organization launched its own journal, Fenrir. Through these ventures, it established links with other neo-Nazi Satanist groups around the world, among them the Temple of Blood in the United States and the Black Order in New Zealand. You know what's really crazy about this? There's like left groups as well, right? But they're mostly invested in like political organizing. They're mostly invested in doing like, community charity and fixing people's like busted taillights and stuff like that. What the fuck is the far right doing? This is what they're invested in. Like, just get invested in Dungeons and Dragons, man. What is this fucking fake lore about like satanic neo-Nazi shit? Like, I don't understand. Just watch anime, dude. Why are you doing this? It doesn't make any sense. They're like, they can't even be like regular run-of-the-mill Republicans. They have to be like run-of-the-mill Republicans, but with witchcraft associated with it. By the 2010s, it was attracting further attention for its influence over neo-Nazi militant groups such as Atomwaffen, which is one that primarily recruits from the military. Atomwaffen is like the neo-Nazi group that goes to like military veterans and active duty service members, and they actually have done a bunch of domestic terror in the United States and all around the world as well, where they'll like steal actual explosive ordnance from military bases and then we'll go and like blow shit up. National Action as well as broader extremist networks like 764. How many of these fucking things exist? What the hell? The ONA promotes the idea. The ONA promotes the idea that human history can be divided into a series of aeons, each of which, okay, I don't care about any of this. This is so fucking stupid. The ONA eschews any central authority or structure. Instead, it operates as a broad network of associates termed the Collective, who are inspired by the texts, which were originally authored by Long and other members of the inner ONA. The group is composed largely of clandestine cells, which are called nexions. Some academic estimates suggest that the number of individuals who are broadly associated with the order falls in the low thousands. Various rapes, killings, and acts of terrorism have been perpetrated by far-right individuals influenced by the ONA, with various British politicians and activists calling for the ONA to be prescribed as a terrorist group. Nah, they're too busy prescribing Palestine Action as a terrorist group. Sorry. You know, sorry, can't do that. Best we can do best we can do is Palestine action. If you're an 84-year-old lady who's like blind and can't walk, we're going to put you in jail if you put up a placard that says, I support Palestine action. That's what England is worried about currently. The ONA has been characterized as a new religious movement. Group presents its teachings as traditional Satanism. Other scholars have portrayed it principally an overlap between Satanism and Nazism, and the historian of religion, Nicholas Goodrick Clark, called it a satanic Nazi cult, while the specialist in far-right politics, Jeffrey Kaplan, and Leonard Weinberg characterized it as a National Socialist-oriented satanic group. Further academic descriptions have highlighted other links. The religious studies scholar Connell R. Mollett called it a blend of Satanism with Hermeticism and some pagan elements. I'm telling you, like, left groups organize on the boundaries of just like doing charity drives. Right-wing organizations that are outside of the boundaries of like normal politics organize on the basis of like doing mass rapes at the behest of a satanic neo-Nazi cult. What the fuck is this? This is why it's so insane whenever people make this like equivalence between the far left and the far right. It's like, no, this is what the far right is doing. What are you saying? Who has time for this? I can't do more than watch a movie and clean my apartment on the weekend, and these guys invent new Magic the Gathering every 2 weeks. Yeah, but it's like Magic the Gathering is fine. It's fun. It's a game. Okay? These guys, yeah, oh, that's the, who could forget? You're discarding the insane violence of eco-terrorists throwing paint at the replicas of famous works of art. That's true. That's true. I forgot. Or sometimes sitting in front of traffic. Sitting in front of traffic and throwing fucking paint at shit. It does blow my mind that while there is no equivalence between the most extreme versions of like left organizing and the most extreme versions of right organizing, and there's no equivalence between the violence that these groups engage with, the amount of time spent on left groups, the amount of time spent on anti-fascists far outweighs the amount of time spent on this shit. Scroll down a little more. The guy called the ideologue of 098 is a straight up white Muslim guy. Lamau, no, I saw. Here, Anton Long's identity. Oh my God. David Myatt, pictured in 1998, is often cited as a central ideologue. The real identity of Anton Long remains unknown for both members of the order and to academics who have studied. However, a 1998 issue of the anti-fascist magazine Searchlight claimed that Anton Long was a pseudonym of David Myatt, a prominent figure in the British neo-Nazi movement. Shared ideas between the two include the belief in a causal realm where the laws of physics do not apply, the idea that human history divides into distinct aeons, support for future colonization of space, and the Star Game, a board game that Myatt claimed to have developed in 1975. Oh my God, these guys always love sci-fi so much. Dude. Born in the early 1950s, Myatt had a long history in neo-Nazism, serving as a bodyguard for Colin Jordan of the British movement before joining Combat 18 militia and becoming a founding member and leader of the National Socialist Movement. In 1973, Myatt has claimed he formed an occult group to serve as a honeypot to pull occultists towards neo-Nazism, but that he left its organization largely to a man from Manchester. Myatt's text on the Practical Guide to Aryan Revolution, in which he advocated for violent militancy in the aid of neo-Nazi cause, was cited as an influence for nail bomber David Copland. Myatt converted to Islam in 1998 and remained a practicing Muslim for 8 years, in which time he encouraged violent jihad against Zionism and Israel's Western allies. In 2010, he announced that he had renounced Islam and was practicing an esoteric tradition that he termed the numinous way. When you just want to be a fucking psychopathic, murderous neo-Nazi so bad that you revert to Islam, what the fuck? What the fuck? He's just like, I don't give a fuck how we kill people, okay? I will do it the Islamic way. I will do it the Christian way. Fuck it. I'll invent my own religion. Who cares? That is insane, dude. Academic scholars of esotericism who have supported Long's identification as Myatt include Goodrick, Clark, Faxneld, and Jacob C. Senhold. Myatt has repeatedly denied allegations that he has any involvement with the ONA, maintaining that he has never used the pseudonym Anton Long. He has claimed that he had personal contacts with people involved in the ONA around the 1980s and that similarities between his ideas and those in the ONA result from the latter's borrowing from him. He said, they jacked my shit. Public emergence. The ONA came to public attention in the early 1980s. At this point, Gregorius noted it was most likely very small, possibly having only 1 or 2 actual members. Over the coming years, it issued material for public consumption. It's a secret society, outer representative. Niners, Bolobians, and Rune Witha? Interests in Nazism and jihadism. If the identification of Long as Myatt is correct, the ONA would have its ideological foundations in the neo-Nazi movement. The ONA's material contains various positive references to Nazism and neo-Nazism, praising Nazi Germany as a practical expression of the satanic spirit, a burst of Luciferian light, of zest and power in an otherwise Nazarene, pacified and boring world. So these guys are just like, I mean, you know this is white people shit because of that. Okay? This is white people shit exclusively because of that fucking statement. Because ain't no fucking black person, brown person is like, man, the world is so boring and so passive. We should do maximum violence. Okay? This is it. This can only be born out of boredom of your day-to-day existence when you have to be like at least middle class or above to get invested in something like this because you have experienced far too few points of adversity in your upbringing. The ONA also evokes the Nazi leader Adolf Hitler as a positive force in its text of the performance of a black mass, embracing Holocaust denial. It claims that the Holocaust was a myth. These guys will also say the Holocaust is a myth, but it was actually really good that it happened and it should happen again. Okay? Classic. In order to denigrate the Nazi administration after the Second World War and erase its achievements from the psyche of the West, the group believes that the neo-Nazi revolution is necessary in order to overthrow the Magian Nazarene domination of Western society and establish the Imperium, ultimately allowing humanity to enter the galactic civilization of the future. Senior group member Christos Beast, however, presents Nazi imagery as just one way in which the order works, instead maintaining that they're the only true anarchist group. While the group's black mass commonly invoked Hitler, another version produced by the Austrian ONA group, the Temple of Them, replaces the Nazi leader with the Salafi jihadist Osama bin Laden. What? The group frames neo-Nazism and Salafi jihadism as causal forms which help to bring down the old order and facilitate the coming of a new aeon. I mean, I guess there is like a little bit of honesty there in terms of the markers, ultraviolence, complete domination of outgroups. Like technically, it is like almost the same as like the white guy's understanding of Salafi jihadism, like. It is kind of funny because this still somewhat loops back. This still loops somewhat back to the ways in which this attitude has manifested and has been weaponized by Western forces in the region, and has been an incredibly effective tool of, at times, destabilizing predominantly Muslim countries, and also simultaneously creating a casus belli for American intervention and Western intervention in general in the region, whether it be invading Afghanistan, whether it be invading Iraq. Like this, literally, in post 9/11 world, especially, this is so insane. It's like another. I look at this as like yet another instance of the imperial boomerang, like the implementation and the active, dedicated radicalization that Western forces have engaged with, Western intelligence have engaged with in that part of the world, coming back, looping back around and creating instability in the United States of America and in the Western world in general, where, you know, our guys, the American, the American-backed Salafi jihadists become influential figures for white boys who are fucking bored and want to be Nazis because they are bored. Insane, dude. If these guys had a bit of oppression in their formative years, they wouldn't turn out to be this way. Yeah. Go back to the vid, Unc. I mean, the video, we took a sidestep here. No lives matter. Due to the network, this is one of... This is one of the network's branches. 2021 by Bradley Cadenhead, a teenager from Stephenville, Texas. The group derives its name from the town's zip code. The network is most present on Discord and Telegram and usually targets children aged 8 to 17, particularly marginalized children or those suffering from mental health challenges. Victims are often forced to commit recorded acts of self-harm and animal cruelty to disseminate internally or share on social media platforms, asked to carve names on their skin as cut signs, a form of branding to show their subjugation by the group, and given the end goal of committing suicide on live stream for the network's entertainment or for the perpetrator's own sense of fame within the network. Oh, what the fuck? When aggregated, the community surrounding these groups commonly referred to as the COM, shorthand for the community. Law enforcement estimated in 2024 that the COM network includes hundreds of such members who engage in extortion and harassment using various cybercriminal tactics such as swatting and doxing, as well as thousands engaged in other cybercriminal activities. This was founded by a 15-year-old who was bullied in school before dropping out in 2021, learned to groom and extort minors on a sextortion Discord server named Cult, which was founded in 2019 by 23-year-old Rohan R., an Indian business student living in France, often blackmailed victims into recording CSAM and degrading acts for commercial gain. Rohan R. told a French court that he was inspired by neo-Nazi and Islamophobic rhetoric, as well as a desire to build a reserve of slaves to fuel his sadism. Okay. That's what the fuck? These are some of the groups. The reason why I'm looking at this is because these are some of the groups that were that are doing shit like this, like the saying that they're going to commit an act of terror on Roblox. It turns out that these are like neo-Nazi groups that also have a proclivity towards have a warmness towards like Salafi jihadism.
Right channels, the ones that are readily available and accessible to people to report through, but those, I guess, aren't the right ones. So where the fuck are they and how can they access them? It's ridiculous. It is absolutely absurd.
Big Balls was in COM. Check it out. Wait, what? I mean, I know... fuck. I know Terrorgram is another... Terrorgram, which operates on Telegram, is another version of this this type of thing, and that black white supremacist school shooter and the femcel school shooter were both part of that Terrorgram group, and they do similar things where they just like actively recruit children who are being bullied, who are like mentally ill, and try to get them to commit mass shootings. There's like a value system associated with like being martyred at the behest of for their enjoyment, basically.
And then he makes a mention here of how, like, this one guy who did get arrested for credible terrorist threats still has his account active on Roblox. And there are predators that have been arrested and are currently in jail that still have their accounts active on Roblox. Like, they do not act on this shit, but they will act immediately if they catch a whiff of somebody trying to take matters into their own hands to stop it themselves to make the platform safer. They're instantaneously right there at their door, ready to slap them with some legal paperwork here. It's just craziness.
This is literally how it goes. We go to roblox.com/support, submit a moderation ticket, and then fill out the prompt with all the information regarding our arrest.
Bro, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, I don't want to have children anymore. And if I do, by accident or deliberately, I am not letting them have a telephone, a landline. That's like, I'm talking Steve Jobs, late stage cancer, no electronic equipment in the home. Okay. I'm talking, you are using, if I catch you using smoke signals to communicate with the outside world, okay, we're banning fire. Do you understand? No pigeons. You know what? Fuck it. Only pigeons. Okay. Only pigeons. Who would have thought that the Amish were actually doing the right thing as opposed to whatever the fuck this is? Come on, dude. This is tiny, tiny niche. My daughter don't even know this stuff exists. Granted, she's Japanese. There's pretty horrible stuff in Japan as well. I mean, yeah, this is the kind of shit that really banged in Japan. What are you talking about? In the 90s? And even to this day, Japan is a massive cult problem. There's an official spec for the TCP IP protocol for carrier pigeons. Oh, here we go.
And give you guys the same Google Drive that we give to the cops. And in a lot of instances, Roblox won't even ban after we reach out to them regarding felony arrests. What I typically have to do is report cases to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or go on the news to show gameplay of our decoys with the predators on Roblox. I've literally felt so lost at trying to get the attention of Roblox regarding these predators. I've created binders with all the chat logs, and I've sent it to their headquarters in San Mateo, California. This is the first time Roblox has ever directly reached me out. Instead of trying to say, hey, we want to work with you, or literally giving me a line to report these people, or simply saying, don't make these videos anymore, we're gonna ban you, Roblox just terminated every account I own and sent me this cease and desist.
I feel like it's pretty clear in this case, Schlepp has literally done everything he can to try and let Roblox be the one to get these predators off the platform, putting the ball in their court, hoping that they will do the right thing and act on this information, at the very least investigate it, but they're not.
Like, normally these pred hunters are kind of weird, but this dude doesn't seem that weird. I know you're being hyperbolic, but the best thing for kids to have is the minimal screen time so they aren't tech illiterate and to just heavily monitor internet access and what they can see. Oh no, for sure. Wild take from that chatter when the last prime minister was assassinated because of how invasive a cult that managed to acquire so much power that it was able to evade regulation from the government. Yeah, that's true. Shinzo Abe's assassination came from yet another CIA-backed cult that is incredibly influential in Korea and also in Japan. That's true.
Which is why there are groups that are doing it themselves. That's the issue. He has literally exhausted every possible avenue and I guess still hasn't found the proper channel, even though he even sent like physical evidence to their actual brick and mortar location and still got nothing. Like, it's very clear that there is no real proper channels, but they really don't like people trying to stop the predator problem themselves. But Roblox also doesn't want to do it either. So, I mean, what options are left? Just let that continue, let that fester, let Roblox be a platform where children are just completely unsafe. I don't think that's exactly a bright future. This is a platform.
I've heard of this nonsense out in China. That sounds crazy. The reason why I say that sounds crazy is because, like, the Chinese government is so fucking hands-on, too hands-on, with actively monitoring things exactly like this with the hopes that this doesn't happen. So that is actually surprising. I mean, it's not surprising that there are cults in China as well. Obviously, Falun Gong is one of them. Again, also aligned with the CIA. I know, it's crazy. But why do so many of these cults all around the world always have some level of involvement with the American State Department? I don't know. But this is interesting because, like, it's that kind of cultish, ultra-violent attitude that manifests in the heart of empire as well. The Chinese firewall is good, actually. Oh, this is another Hasanabi head. No way, no how. Yes, Falun Gong is the same people that produce Shen Yun. Yes. Yes. The FBI has opened 250 investigations concerning 764 spanning all 55 field offices of May 2025 and September 2022. The FBI published their first bulletin warning of the public network. Man, it's crazy because, like, for me, I'm over here worried about, like, regular right-wing to far-right radicalization. And I can't believe that there is, like, another flavor of this that even goes beyond, the through line between Asmongold and, like, Nick Fuentes. I'm over here worried about, like, Fox News to Asmongold to Nick Fuentes as the pipeline, okay? Or more so just the Asmongold to Nick Fuentes pipeline. Meanwhile, there are even layers beyond that that contain multitudes and are even more violent and even more indecipherable in their goals. Holy fuck. Also, Slasher says, I went to a games advertising conference featuring Activision Blizzard and Twitch, where Roblox got by far the most interest. In the 2 days of talks from ad execs, the average age of Roblox user was never mentioned once. Roblox has never cared about the safety of their core players, kids. An interesting anecdote with an extreme and irresponsible extrapolation. Extreme and irresponsible, such as Roblox's failure to act on dozens of reported sexual misconduct instances, leading to a YouTuber having to get a senator's attention to prompt a change in policy in the first place. Is that what you meant? Now, this is a more reasonable and responsible commentary on this man. Oh, God, these guys, man. I fucking hate this. I hate guys like this who are just, like, so pedantic. Very irresponsible in your reporting. And then they fucking agree. Then they agree. They fold instantly, but then still turn around. They will still fucking turn around. That's like half your viewers. I know. I yell at them all the time. All the time. We are unable to do anything to predators that hang outside of group homes and they actively steal and traffic the children. Why do you think we're going to do something to protect children online?
Platform that does desperately need to be cleaned up. It is a huge problem there, and Roblox isn't doing it. Schlepp then tells a very personal experience he had on Roblox when he was a kid, and how he was also a victim of these type of evil people. And when his mother reached out to Roblox to report all of that and give the evidence about everything that had happened to her son, Roblox didn't act on it, and that individual still wasn't banned until years later. There is a problem, and Roblox isn't solving it, So the community is doing what they can to try and keep it safer. But Roblox is attacking the community that is actively trying to do that for them. I think it's bullshit. I think that is fucking baloney right there. And Roblox needs a real change in leadership in how they approach this shit. Maybe Dave Bazzuki, instead of focusing on bringing dating to a children's game, should focus on trying to keep the children on that game safe. Maybe that should be the priority, I would think.
So the other side of the story that's also scary is that, what is this, the Chinese cult hiding in America? I've never watched Papa Meat before. Is this, oh, it's about Falun Gong? Let's go. It's crazy that there's like more and more American content creators who I would never expect knowing about Falun Gong and Shen Yun. No, I know Papa Meat is Meat Canyon. I'm just saying, I would not expect someone like Meat Canyon to be tapped in and know about like Epoch Times, Falun Gong, all the stuff. So here's the thing. We look at the cults. This is the other side of the story. Because there's also a dangerous there's also the dangerous undercurrent of legislators actively trying to implement new steps of surveillance, such as ID restrictions, like demanding that people upload their IDs to go online. And that aspect of it is also, like, I don't know what the proper solution to this problem is. I will be the first to admit this. Okay? I don't know how to create a mechanism of enforcement, to create like a regulatory structure to basically stop this kind of stuff from happening, right? Perhaps age-gated hardware could be one of those things, but doing it at the point of like the websites seems like one of the worst possible options.